Hey, it's a video. You know that thing where you click on a video on YouTube and then you enjoy that video, and then the next video in the queue is a related video, and then you click on that video and then YouTube has pretty much determined that you have dedicated your entire life to the intimate study of knitting time lapses, and your only fleshly desire is to watch compilation after compilation from the moment you drag yourself out of bed until you finally pass out from sheer exhaustion. Sometimes though, the system works, and I like it. I like the fact that if I watch one or two videos from my favorite creator, the next one automatically pops up. YouTube wants to make sure that you stay entertained as long as possible, that you stay on the platform as long as possible. You get all the free content you like, and the ad revenue rolls in. Everyone is happy-ish. But Peter, what does that have to do with covering the uncoverable? Everything. Recently, this happened to me while I was watching videos on one of my favorite bands of all time, Queen. As anyone who consumes music via the internet can attest, covers of relevant songs are extremely popular. Every time a new Adele song comes out, inevitably there are 1,000 alternative genre covers on YouTube the next week. When Fallout 76 came out and that was getting a lot of traction and a lot of clicks, people covered country roads. And this is nothing new. This truly is a tale as old as time, but more on that later. I'm not exactly sure when this became a thing on the internet, but I do remember getting really into metal covers around 2013, 2014. I got really into channels like Frog Leap Studios and Our Last Night. Something that bothered me even then were a lot of comments to the effect of, oh, this is so much better than the original. Oh, pop music has no value. Oh, finally making this song bearable. Since then, I've come to appreciate music in a much wider respect, and those comments bother me now more than ever. Thanks to the internet, there's a substantially more leveled playing field in regards to what genres are readily available, thus making it easier to digest some of the more challenging genres. I have grown quite fond of different genres, each for different reasons. My work as a session musician has had me play every conceivable genre, and I love them all. I couldn't possibly only enjoy one kind of music. That's like a food critic going to various restaurants but always ordering the same dish. Sure, his opinions on that one dish are probably very well developed and well motivated. He probably even has some nostalgia for it, which is fine. But his opinions on food as a whole will more likely than not be misguided, biased, and incomplete. Many music listeners do exactly that. We cling to certain genres and often certain artists and disregard any artistic value that might lie within anything else. Hey, would you like a darker metal reinterpretation of this pop song which you don't particularly like? Yeah! What about a reinterpretation of a classic with a slightly different take? Obviously, the pick of the day for relevant YouTube content right now is the classic Queen masterpiece, Bohemian Rhapsody. A little over a year ago, Pentatonix released the video for their a cappella version of the song, and it got fairly high praise. Why is that? Now, by asking that question, I'm in no way insinuating that they don't deserve the love. Pentatonix is a great band. I miss Avi Kaplan so much. I just think it's interesting. As far as I could tell, not a great deal of people dared cover Queen's greatest hits until fairly recently. At least not in comparison to modern artists like Ed Sheeran, Chainsmokers, and Taylor Swift. Is it because Queen is universally loved? Yes, it is literally only for that reason. Which is fair enough. I've never met anyone who isn't crazy about their work. All of the members of the band were/are great musicians. And no matter what instrument you play, their music has something for you and probably has for years. It's special and therefore worth defending intense conversations about whether or not it should be reinterpreted. Now, for the purposes of this video, I feel we should define the difference between reinterpretation and what I'd call a straight cover. Covers like the ones by Panic at the Disco and Martin Miller and most of what I could find on YouTube in regards to Queen music fall relatively square within homage territory. Not so much a cover, but a tribute, made out of love and respect for the original, and they get hella views. Then on the other side, we have covers like that of Randy Coleman and Postmodern Jukebox. Those are reinterpretations. They use the original as a jumping off point while doing something original.
Now, a term that slots in here pretty well is one coined by Adam Neely, elemental arrangement. Literally the arrangement of elements. He's quite the literal bloke. In his video on the subject, he makes what seems like a bold statement, but one that I think is a fundamental truth in art.
Nobody is original. Every inspiring piece of music and work of art you have ever experienced has been stolen from people who have done it before.
He goes on to say that our jobs as artists are not to be original, but to take what has come before and mold it into something we like. And the more sources you steal from and incorporate, the more original you are. Now, back to why Pentatonix got so much love for their version of Bohemian Rhapsody. I believe they fall somewhere between those two categories. Their version has the same structure and overall vibe as the original, but it's a cappella and it has that distinct Pentatonix-y arrangement style. As well as some clever ways to get around the limitations of the genre, having the affected voice during the guitar solo part with the megaphone. It's just clever. Really well produced, and obviously a great music video really helps on YouTube. Is this why they were able to cover the Uncoverable? Unfortunately, I do think a big part of the reason their video was so successful is their frickin' Pentatonix. They do have a massive loyal following on YouTube, and every video they do goes mega viral. I do think their reputation ensures their success. We'll never know if the Pentatonix version of Bohemian Rhapsody would have been such a hit if it wasn't for their standing in the internet music community. As a control for the purposes of this video, I want to bring up Disturbed's version of The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Now, this was a super dark and somber reinterpretation. It recontextualizes the subject matter of the original with a considerably more solemn tone. The neon god worshipped by the mass is more relevant today than ever. They don't have a massive mainstream audience, they're a metal band, yet their reinterpretation was influential. Everyone covered it. It became relevant out of nowhere, even being covered by a certain a cappella group. This proves that a pre-existing audience isn't the only thing that makes a reinterpretation successful. Originality goes a long way. This is a very nuanced subject. Going into this video, I wasn't sure what I would find, but I think the reason we like covers is the same reason we dislike certain other pieces of art. We are blinded by our tastes and experiences and wrongfully put the label better onto certain pieces of art. I think it's good that we're breaking down barriers concerning what we're allowed to defile to create new art. For all art is referential, and all art has value. On a slightly related note, me and fellow musicians Suzanne Ezel and Hhhmmmkaybye also did a cover of Sound of Silence. It's over on Hhhmmmkaybye's channel. It recently hit 10,000 views. We put a lot of ourselves into it, making sure it's not just another cover of Sound of Silence, making it a little different from all the rest, so I'll leave a link to that. I would also like to recommend the video that I referenced earlier on Elemental Arrangement by Adam Neely. 'Tis a great video and he makes some awesome points on the subject of music and art in general, and you should definitely check it out. Anything you'd like to add? Let's start a conversation in the comments down below, and subscribe to like at least 3 channels today. Treat yourself. Goodbye.
From the moment you drag yourself out of bed until you finally pass out from sheer exhaustion.